Hello once again everyone, and welcome back to another V8 Veterans track guide. Season 20, round number 2 here at Detroit Belle Isle. Probably the closest track we'll get to like the Gold Coast or your Adelaide. So yeah, it's a good fun circuit, nice little street circuit. The bumps and undulation in the track really make it quite tricky to modulate your braking right and your throttle application. So real challenge. Definitely will be tricky with the new damage model. But you can tap the walls and not get a 0x, which is quite good. So you'll be able to really push it up against the walls during your qualifying laps and have those laps count if you do tap a wall slightly, which is cool. But yeah, should make for an interesting race. There is a few passing opportunities at this track, unlike one of the other street circuits that is on the service. So yeah, should be an exciting race on Thursday and a good bit of fun for you guys and girls. So let's get stuck into the track guide. Righto, here we are on track at Detroit Belle Isle. My brake bias, I was comfortable with 53.6. So again, really cranking it forward to get a lot of your braking out of the way before you get to the corner, because with all the bumps on the apexes of these corners, you want to be really off the brake by the time you get into those apexes, or have very minimal brake input when you going over those bumps. So a nice high front bias will help you get a lot of your braking out of the way and able to trail it to the corner and release off that brake pedal a lot earlier than what you would with more rearward bias. So yeah, we'll get stuck into the lap. I've done my usual slow out lap, but around this track you can get sometimes 2 laps out of the tire. They will be hurting slightly with your second lap, but as you can see on my final run, you know, there's nothing in it really. Best lap was 128.462 with an optimal session optimal of 128.211 if I got all my sectors together. I only had the 18 laps, so pretty happy with that. And yeah, so we'll get stuck in. So yeah, I've done my slow out lap. We've come onto the straight, run it up through the gears, up into 6th. We're coming into turn 1, and we're braking just as the front of the car hits the 400 meter mark. Going down to 4th gear, and we're using this inside curb. Help really rotate the car through the mid corner. We're staying in 4th. Again, using a little bit of the inside curb to help make the car rotate a little bit. Easy on the throttle. You don't want to be full throttle before you're cresting this hump here. As soon as we're crested, the car settles back on the gas, as close to the wall as we dare. Run it all the way up. And then my braking point, you'll see this tree in the 400 meter mark. It's roughly just as you pass the tree from the in-car. And yeah, as you saw there, it's just as the front of the car is getting to that tree. Going down the gears into 2nd, and then using all this curb. You want your front tyres basically gliding over the top of this, you know, lighter coloured grass here. I was a little bit away from it there, and it actually made the car dart and head towards the tyre barriers there. So you really want your car to go up and over that inside for a nice clean run. They're still able to make it land alright. Little bit of grass on the exit. And then we're coming into 3rd gear for this corner. And we're not really a braking marker for this one. I saw it's sort of in line with, you know, the 3rd last of these white banners here on the concrete wall. Down in the 3rd, little bit of curb again, bounce it over, nice and close to the wall, staying in 3rd on the limiter, and you'll see the wall. It juts out a little bit here. that's your braking marker. Staying in third, modulating that brake, nice and close to the apex, really close to the wall. You'll think you hit it, but it's just dipping into the dipping in. Yeah, it may have been a slight touch there, but I didn't feel it when I was actually on board there. Very close. Still staying in third, and again, it's hard for a braking marker. For me, it's when I'm getting to my sort of the edge of my view on my screen is hitting this banner here that's on the concrete wall, and that's my braking marker for that one. It is a very tricky braking zone because you're going uphill and then it flattens off real quick and it tends to want to lock that inside front right. So something to keep in mind. So yeah, staying in third and releasing the brake quite early to help the car rotate over this, as it goes flat and over this crest. Nice and close, ride it over the bumps, nice and outside to the wall. Thanks to Mr. Cullen for letting me go through here. And we're running it all the way out so we have a nice straight run at the corner to keep the car nice and straight as we're braking. Again, braking is, about 450 meter mark. Keeping it as straight as we can. Just a little bit of correction down into third gear. Short shift up to third to help with the wheel spin. And then we're braking just before the wall juts out here. A little bit of a later entry to sort of help miss the bump that's in the corner. And a later apex helps you straighten up the exit of the corner as well. We're in a second through here. Up into third. And then staying in third around here. Tighter around here is better. You don't want to be too wide. It'll just wash out onto the marbles and you'll lose a lot of traction, a lot of time. Right up nice and close. Edge of the car's about the mid. See the seam line in the center of the track. So where you want the edge of the car to be. You can use a little bit of this inside curb. Setup is a little bit too bouncy for my liking to use as much of that curb as I'd like. But yeah, you can use a little bit of it to help rotate the front of the car. Down in the second gear for this one. First is too short. The gear ratio is very short for this week. So no first gear at all. A little bit of curb again. Rotate the car a bit nicer. Once we're nice and straight, onto the power nice and hard. Up through the gears. And then braking, it's roughly the 250 meter mark. So right halfway between the 300 and the, or just at the 300 actually. But it feels like you're about 250 in the car. So yeah, just about the 300 meter mark there. Down in the third gear for this one. Nice and close to the apex of the corner. Run it all the way to the wall. No brake, just a little bit of a lift just to help get the nose down into the camber of the track. And then back on the power again, feeding it on nice and smooth. Ride it over the bumps, right out to the wall. And then just up through the gears all the way to the line. Then bang down the gears again. At the 400 meter mark, down to fourth gear. And around we go again. Again, same thing, just nice and smooth over those bumps. Not attacking it too much. Down the gears. Into second. It's a bit nicer that time. You could see that time I was quite a lot nicer over this curb. Didn't take off as much. Landed nicer. A lot nicer. Exit. But this being the second lap, the tyres aren't quite as crisp as that first lap. Nicely on the apex, a bit further away from the wall. Right up through the gears again. Another short shift, keep the wheels under control, down to second. As soon as the car settles, start feeding that gas on. Helps, yeah, just settle the car. can start to see the rear tyres really complaining on the second lap. So yeah, tyre management will be key for these races coming up. So there you go, 2 outside laps. Now we'll go on board, and yeah, you can see what I see in the as in the cockpit. And there you have it, a couple of laps around Detroit Belle Isle using the V8 Veteran setup for round number 2 of season 20. Hopefully you've all learned something this week. It's a very tricky track, so yeah, doing a lot of laps is definitely key, but racing laps especially. Following a car is quite hard around this track, so if you can do a few races, I highly recommend it. To really get your eye in, and I always like to say racing laps are better than just going out and doing practice laps, because you'll get stuck in a rhythm just doing practice lap after practice lap. It's better to go out and race the car. That's how you'll get faster, more consistent, better on your tires. But yeah, so yeah, good luck to everyone for this week. I'll definitely be tuning in, if not in the safety car, work permitting. So yeah, have fun, enjoy your week of racing, and we'll see you next week for another track guide. Bye bye.